do you follow people? And I don't mean like on social media, like somebody you like, somebody you want to hear more content from. I mean like, do you blindly follow people? Do you just like go wherever the people go and do whatever the people do? Are you the type of person that they much rather follow behind what other people are doing than create their own path? I'm curious because you see a lot of followers in this world. Now, let me just say this as a disclaimer. We are all followers. We're all followers. And if you think about it, it only makes sense. If you see something that you think works for someone else, if you see something that you think looks, like a better option that maybe someone else has put out there, it would only make sense for you in your survival and your progression for you to give it a shot. You'd be an idiot to like just not do something that someone else did purely because someone else did it. So we're all followers. We're all giants because we stand on the shoulders of the people that came before us. So full disclaimer, we're all a follower. I'm a follower. But I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about something a little bit deeper. You know how I be doing. I'm talking about something a little bit deeper. Have you ever noticed how there's a good amount of people out here who they're just like sheep. They just follow whoever, wherever, whatever the fuck is in front of them. And so as a self-proclaimed Sigma male, whatever the fuck that means, I'm someone who a huge core part of who I am is built on authenticity. And what that means is that I don't just do what other people do because other people are doing it. I do what I do because authentically it touches me. It makes me feel like it's something that I would want to pursue. Now, if that happens to be something that 7 billion other people are doing, we're all breathing. We all eat and shit and hopefully, fucking make some money. Like you're not following somebody. That's in your best interests. But when you have a certain viewpoint, or like you now like certain types of clothes, or, certain statements from other people now are so fucking wise or so fucking funny because you feel a certain way about that person, or because that person represents something to you, you start to become a follower. And that can become very dangerous. Now, there's pros and cons to it, just like there's pros and cons to every fucking thing in life. Life has a balance, and even when it seems like it doesn't have a balance, it's probably part of a bigger balance that you're not aware of. So it's pros and cons to everything. But what I'm talking about is there are people who are straight up followers who, and I'll give you some examples. I've seen it in my own personal life. Like it was this one dude back in the day, a friend of mine. We're still friends to this day. We haven't seen each other in a while. But we grew up together. Like elementary, middle school, high school, college. Like we knew each other. And at some point in time, in our late high school years, college years, he had a progression. Started making more money, started fucking more honeys, better looking honeys. He was doing his thing. I ain't gonna put too much of his business out there. But because he was starting to ascend, different people around him started treating him differently. Every joke he said was funny as fuck. Every perspective he had was like fucking Einstein, George Washington Carver, something brilliant. And I'm like, nigga, I knew you when my mom had to drop you off, for the roller skating party, 6th grade. I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I know sometimes you say smart shit and sometimes you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Sometimes you on point and sometimes you way off the fucking mark. But I don't understand why these motherfuckers is every joke you say, everything you put out there, these motherfuckers is eating it up. I don't understand that. I've never understood it. I'll give you another example. My man was a part of this as well. Like I said, we knew each other from way back in the day. This goes back to 4th fucking grade, y'all. 4th fucking grade. I'm a Gen Xer. Do you know how fucking long that is? How long ago that was? We talking the fucking 80s. I am a young Gen Xer. Anyway, the point being is I remember group of guys, 4th grade. I don't know where this came from. But all of a sudden we decided, like, a group of friends. We decided to form like a group. A club. Some might want to call it a gang. It wasn't a gang. It was like a club, a fraternity, a French, a membership. Someone came up with the name. They were like, we're going to call ourselves the Renegades. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but it sounded pretty decent, especially fourth grade. It was like, Renegades. Yeah, Renegade. And immediately what happened when we decided to like form this little group is a bunch of people rushed in to declare their ranking in the group. And so there was this one dude that, like I say, mentioned from the previous story, pretty boy, smart, could fight, like could play sports, he's popular. But still, fuck all that, compete. You don't just get nothing handed to you. But everybody was like, okay, well, he gonna be the president, and then big fella, he gonna be the vice president, and then everybody else was trying to like get in underneath and what their ranking was. I couldn't understand that shit for the fucking life of me. Fourth grade, how old is that? Like 8, 9 years old or something like. I couldn't understand that shit for the life of me. I gotta smoke on that. Because I still to this day don't understand that shit. Why would you jump into regimenting yourself? Who says that motherfucker should be president? Who says that motherfucker should be vice president? Who says you should be whoever the fuck you are? I'm not jumping in to declare myself according to nobody's fucking rankings. That's almost the hallmark of what Sigma males and Sigma male type people do. What? Your hierarchy? Fuck your hierarchy. I live off the grid. I live outside the system. There, I can exist out there. I will fuck with you in a way that I fuck with you that's valuable to me. I don't just follow. What the fuck is that? But I was talking to some younger people. You got to get a difference of opinion, get some perspective to broaden your perspectives, to sharpen your sword. And, they provided some value to the point of what they were saying, the counterpoint, which was, well, some people follow because they let other people not necessarily pave the way, but like do the hard work. And then they could just follow in behind and make it much easier. Even sometimes we all know a certain friend or two, relative or two, coworker or two, that likes to crack jokes, that likes to do things, likes to stir the shit pot, whatever. And then we laugh. We react to that. In a certain sense, you're following. Sometimes maybe you don't, especially as a Sigma male, sometimes you don't want to be the center of attention. Someone else can be the center of attention, and I'm fine with that. Now, sometimes I will be the center of attention. But, like I say, it has to be about what's authentic to me. But for other people, they look at it sometimes as like, let that person go ahead and get the praise or the scrutiny. Let that person go ahead and go put themselves out there and cause the ripple in the water. And I can fucking get on my surfboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can fucking enjoy the ripple in the water that person caused. It costs me nothing. I get that. And on a certain level, like I said, there's pros and cons to everything. Many of those people who are followers, and I've seen this in my life, some examples from college. Many people who are followers, they a lot of times can navigate social settings because they just try to find a way to fit in. That's their primary goal, is to try to find a way. When you talk about Sigma male shit, alpha male shit, these people are usually what you would call beta males. Now, I don't even know how much of all of that shit I believe in. I just know there's certain actions and characteristics that people do, and you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. That looks familiar. I understand that. And supposedly beta males are the ones who, like, they're not really going to boss up like an alpha male. They don't have the true confidence in their independence like a Sigma male. So a lot of times, quote unquote, beta males, they just really want to just follow behind whoever the dominant person is and just make their living, live their life in that person's shadow, in that person's wake, whatever. And many people benefit from that. I've seen in college, in the business world, in fraternities, in different groups and shit, because you know how to get in and fit the fucking place. You know how to be that round peg. That round peg fitting in that round hole. Then you get the benefit of a network. You can fuck with different motherfuckers. You join frats or sororities or groups, associations, because you know how to get the fuck in and just blend in. Just follow the crowd. Just do what you're told to do. And it can work out for you. Whereas you have people like me a lot of times who, the power that I have in not following other motherfuckers is sometimes you look back and there's nobody behind you. You the only motherfucker. Even if you truly believe in the path and the journey that you're on, it might just be you. So there's a certain strength in that, but there's a certain weakness in that. There's a certain strength in people who are followers, and there's a certain weakness in it. So I'm saying, from my perspective, I see the weakness of it initially, and that makes me say, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But for some people, they get rewarded. There's a certain value for them in letting somebody else be the fucking fullback. You know what I'm saying? Letting somebody else set the screen. And then they decide to do what they're going to do with the ball. Take it to the hole or make that drive and then dish it off to somebody. But it's really interesting for me as a Sigma male, as the person that I am. It's really interesting a lot of times just seeing people just fall in line like they have no brain, no spine. You know what I love to see, and I love to do this? I fucking love doing this. And I don't do it to stir the shit pot. I do it legitimately at that moment because it's authentic to me and I'm curious. I love seeing whoever the so-called popular person, whoever the so-called the center of attention, I love seeing them say something. Other people agree with it, fall in line, whatever. And then seeing that person, or me being someone in the group, say something that's counter to it. And see how the sheep react. Because this is the dynamic that happens. The person who's the center of attention, the person that everyone is like, the people are following, they can say, hey man, the sky is beautiful. It's a beautiful blue sky outside. You see the sun? It's a beautiful blue sky outside, right? And the sheep will go, I know. I stepped outside today. I was like, oh my God, the sky is so beautiful. It's beautiful and blue. Like, what type of blue is it? And then they all get to talking. And then I can step up and be like, you think that's blue? That should look gray to me. That's a blue sky to you? All right, whatever. And you'll see the sheep go, oh, what are you talking about? Who is this dude? Oh my God, who the fuck is this motherfucker? And if that center of attention says the same thing, they'll double down on it. But if that center of attention agrees with me, agrees with that counterpoint, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's true, it's not as blue as it could be. You will then see those other people. You'll see like the fracturing of their so-called confidence, the splintering of their so-called like stability. Like they have to now question not just what they think, because what they think now is based upon what the center of attention thinks. So they're in a real fucking conundrum because maybe what they might want to say, they don't know how that's going to go with the center of attention. They've lost their fucking autonomy. They've lost their sense of sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to follow, they need to be pulled, they need to be tugged by, they need the gravity of this other person. And that shit I've seen it happen so many times. And every single time, if I ain't have the ability to smoke on it, I just look at other people like, you're just revealing. There's so many things that we do that are really, really revealing. If you can take a moment to stop and like kind of do the math. I say that in some of my other previous videos. Go check out some of the other videos. Sometimes you got to do the math a little bit. And where you end up doesn't have to be a bad place. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be, gray. But at least you're a little bit closer to the actuality of it. You're a little bit closer to the truth of it. So there are people who are just straight up followers. They look to follow somebody. If they were ever left to be the leader on their own, to come up with their own fucking ideas, it's over. And there's some people who never fucking follow. Hey, dog, don't go that way. We all going this way. That ain't the way to go. Man, fuck what you talking about. I'm good. So you want to be fluid. Like in one of the strategy books that I like. I'll even recommend it out there. I think it's about Robert Greene. I think that's the author's name. 33 Strategies of War. It's a lot of war-type stories, war-type analogies, but it's applicable to all types of areas of life and throughout history. It's some really, really good shit that only a fucking nerd like me would read. But anyway, it talks about how, and it's based on Sun Tzu's, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's based upon some his shit, his philosophy. But my point being is you want to be fluid. You don't want to just be locked into this rigidness of who you think you are and what you think you do. Like, you really want to be fluid. But you do want to have at least some honest understanding of why you do what you do. At least a little bit. So, I may say, hey, as a Sigma male, I do this and I do that and blah, 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 and I don't do that. But really, it fucks me over sometimes. Sometimes it's a benefit to me and sometimes it fucks me over because I'm not able to do the things that now other people, their weaknesses have now turned into strengths. So you want to be fluid like water. Water can be soothing or the most destructive shit on the planet. So, whatever. It's your boy, splitting atoms out here, trying to enjoy this existence while we got it. Anyway, I'll let you stay up.